In this video, I'm going to introduce the energy stores and how to identify which energy stores are relevant. So what is energy? So energy is not a thing you can find in an object. It's rather a way of quantifying what the object is capable of doing or what it's doing now. And it allows us to calculate useful things like how fast or how far or how high something might go. And it can also be used to decide or predict if something is possible, for example, getting a rocket into space with the available fuel. Key to energy is knowing the different energy stores. And in this table, at the moment, all the energy stores are blank. And on this side, it has got a bit of information about how to identify if that energy store is filling up or emptying, which we've got here. So what I would like you to do is have a think about, can you work out what each of these energy stores is by looking at the sentence about how to identify whether that energy store is filling up or emptying. So can you pause the video now and spend a moment to think about what each of these energy stores might be? Okay, hopefully you have realised that something getting faster or slower is to do with the kinetic store or kinetic energy store. Something changing height on Earth or two masses getting closer together is about the gravitational potential store. A chemical reaction taking place, for example burning fuel, that is involving a chemical store. Something heating or cooling or changing state would be the internal or thermal store. Something which is stretching or contracting or changing shape, that is to do with the elastic potential store. And then the final three stores, much less important at GCSE than the others. They tend not to come up nearly as much. We've got the electrostatic for when charges, positive or negative charges, move closer together or get further apart. Magnetic for when magnets are moving closer or getting further apart. And nuclear to do with nuclear decay, fission and fusion. For the next activity, it will be helpful if you have made a list of the different energy stores so that you have got those to refer to. Once you have made a list of those energy stores, then you are ready to continue with the video. Okay, so when we're talking about energy stores and how energy is shifting around, it is important that you can identify which store of which object is being filled or emptied. And it's really important that you have both the store, for example, the kinetic, and the object, for example, a football. So when a football is kicked, you could say that energy has shifted into the kinetic store, kinetic energy store of the football. So what you're going to do now is look at each of these pictures in turn, and for each one I want you to decide which store of which object is filled. So to get you going, I'll do the first one for you. I might say here that the elastic potential store of the spring is being filled. And as I said, really important that you identify both the store, elastic potential store, and the object, in this case the spring, for each one. So have a look at the remaining pictures and try and decide what store of what object is filled. In case the pictures aren't clear, this is a hydroelectric dam, this is some ring magnets, this is some charcoal, an asteroid just before impact, a moving car, someone standing near the top of a mountain, and a bow and arrow ready to be fired. Okay, so pause the video now, and for each of these pictures, try and identify which energy store of what is filled. Final tip, it may involve more than one store in some of the pictures. Hopefully you've had a chance to do that. So in picture B, I would say that the gravitational potential store of the water has got lots of energy in it at the moment, and as the water was released through the dam, that energy would shift to the kinetic store of the water. In this picture, you might have identified that the ring magnets near the top have got energy in their gravitational potential store, and you might also have identified that there is some energy in the magnetic store. The bag of charcoal has got lots of energy in the chemical store of the charcoal. The asteroid just before impact, if it's just before impact, there won't be much energy left in the gravitational potential store of the asteroid, but there will be lots of energy in the kinetic store of the asteroid and lots of energy in the thermal store of the asteroid. In F, the bow and arrow, there we have got energy in the elastic potential store of the bow, because it is the bow that has changed shape, so there is energy in the elastic potential store of the bow. In this one, there is energy in the kinetic store of the car, and in this one there is energy in the gravitational potential store of the person as they're near the top of the mountain. So in this video we have introduced the different energy stores and talked about the fact that you must always identify which store of what object or system you are talking about.